Hello. All right. Honestly, I feel a bit nervous, jittery for this topic. I'm a little sweating a little bit. Feels like the townspeople might come for me because this is a triggering as fuck topic and people get real activated around it. So, first of all, hello. Welcome to Your OK Academy. Get out your notebook, get out your pens. Let's take some notes, like shift some things. Let's shift the way you are relating to the world and your way of being, your energetic vibration. I am Your OK, leadership mentor, nervous system genius, clinically trained therapist, spiritual teacher, and all around energetic sorceress, which literally just means I'm a master of energetics. Everything is energy, and your energetic vibration creates your life. And guess what creates your energetic vibration? Your nervous system. So I'm a nervous system genius. I became one because I had to, because my nervous system was blocking, sabotaging me, keeping me stuck, keeping me broke, all of the things. And you hear a lot of people talking about the nervous system these days and nervous system regulation and how to work with your nervous system. And they have some very helpful, beautiful, nourishing tips. And also, they miss very key points around attachment and around the sneaky, subtle ways your nervous system will keep you attached to old ways of being to be accepted and to belong in society. And today's topic is one of the ones where we most often will get stuck. Let's dive into how to stop pathologizing and sterilizing romantic love. Just saying that makes me contract a little bit because people have this so fucked up and they don't understand it at all. And most people have not actually been in love. They've only felt obsession, attachment. They've made it about their worth. They've taken things personally. They've gripped on tight and they don't understand how to discern what is real true love, what is a lesson, what is something that is just a season, what you're meant to excavate, explore, transform within the dynamic. Because here's the fucking truth. A lot of F words today. This topic really is like a zone of genius of mine. And I also look at it in a very different, very controversial way. And I know people get really triggered around it. And we all desire to experience being in love because there's no greater feeling in the world. But the sad part is most people don't know what that feels like. Most people are functioning through their attachment wounding, through trying to get someone to save them, through grasping on to another person because they feel so scared to be with themselves. And I can guide you to a different way. It starts with first coming home to yourself. It starts with coming home to yourself. So let's talk about this a little bit. Okay, your romantic relationships are a mirror for you. They are literally designed to pull out all of the things that you unconsciously are avoiding. They will pull out your attachment wounding. They will pull out your intimacy blocks. They will pull out the ways you don't feel safe to receive. They will pull out the ways that you have barricaded yourself into hyper independence, your people pleasing, your overgiving, your judgment, your comparison, your control. They will literally pull it all out. And they're designed to, they're meant to do that. Now, most relationships are based on attachment. Most relationships. It doesn't mean you don't care for the person. It doesn't mean you don't have love for the person. Most relationships are based on attachment. And then we have all of these Instagram coaches who are selling a certain way of being, right? So you have Instagram divine feminine relationship coaches who are telling you you need to be chosen. So here's the truth. The divine feminine chooses. Your egg emits a vibration that chooses the sperm. It's not the other way around. It's not the fastest swimmer that gets to the egg. It's the egg chooses the sperm. So everything starts in energy. Everything starts in energy. Now, here you are, if you're a woman, sitting around thinking you should be on your throne. Love my beautiful sheepskin throne here. And you should be chosen, right? And that the man who shows the most effort is the one who is worthy of your heart. That's not how it works. Nice dream though. Nice fairy tale. We love that fairy tale. We've lived that fairy tale through movies, through all these different things. But if you actually think about who you've loved the most, it's often not the one who gave the most valiant effort. And often when a man is giving that much valiant effort to win you, it's based on ego or attachment and not based on heart. I laugh because the true reality of actual love is it's going to trigger both people so completely that you probably will want to run away from it. And if you don't want to run away from it, you've either done a ton of work, but even still, intimacy with a romantic partner is different than intimacy with yourself and intimacy with the world and intimacy with your parents or your friends or your whatever. Romantic intimacy is going to trigger all the things. So you've either done a ton of work or you are fully ready to see the things that are being brought up within the dynamic. But most likely, one or both of you is going to want to run away from it because it's going to feel really fucking scary. You're going to have to look at all the things you don't want to look at. And initially, this is where love bombing comes in. It's right, oh, they love bombed me. Maybe they love bombed you. Maybe it was feeling really good until something got poked that the person didn't want to look at, and then they got terrified and they had to run away. And then you didn't know how to sit with yourself when they ran away to hold yourself to a higher energetic vibration of certainty so that they could magnetize back to you. Instead, you went into ruminating and obsessing and overanalyzing and chasing and all the things that we do when we feel activated and our inner child feels activated. Now, we get online and we see all these Instagram coaches who are like, this is healthy love, quote unquote. It boils my blood, literally, because a lot of times that's just control. It's passive aggressive. It's like, oh, you didn't say the right thing, or you should have said it this way, or that triggered my trauma. That's not their responsibility. Their responsibility is to be them. Their responsibility is to be accepted. Their responsibility is to do their own inner work. And yes, if they hurt your feelings, to have a conversation about it, but we have turned those conversations into a sterilized version of the fact that we are raw, messy, fucked up humans. Like, no one's exempt from this. If you think you're not a raw, messy, fucked up human, then you need to get off your high horse and take a look inside. Literally, all of us are. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much work you've done. I don't care if you sat with the Dalai Lama for 40 years. You come into the world and you try to have a romantic relationship, and whatever was living inside of you that you couldn't access through your deep meditation is going to get activated. It's going to come out. It's going to get projected all over the place. You're going to want to bypass it. You're going to want to go back to that mountain and sit in meditation. You are a raw, fucked up, messy human. And we all are. And nothing activates that more than romantic love. This is a zone of genius of mine because I am able to work with a client and tell you, is this a lesson? Is this attachment? Are you coming from an ego place, or are you actually in love? And even further, if you're actually in love, is that love just meant to catalyze you forward into your own life, or is it the person who are meant to be on a journey with to come together into divine union? I have been through the initiation of all the things, initiation after initiation after initiation after initiation, to learn to trust myself in this area so that I can guide you there as well. This is part of what we do in my group mentorship program, The Portal. It's a 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month group mentorship program where you have daily telegram riffs from me. We have a monthly theme. August is embodying your highest self at a nervous system level. July was pleasure, intimacy, and desire. We have a theme so that we stay on theme. You have meditations and chants that are imbued with the codes of the theme for the month that you are to do every single day to actually embody that at a nervous system level. You have 3 live calls with me a month, 2 or 3, usually 3. One of them is a hot seat mentorship call where I will dive deep with you. You have a drop the questions channel where you can come in and you can ask questions and I will give you personalized riffs around your question. This is such a powerful and potent place to be held, to be seen, to be guided through to a new way of being. And a lot of what we cover is how you're showing up in love, in your, whether it's with a partner, whether you're dating, whether you're, on a divine counterpart journey with someone who you feel this push-pull with and you can't quite understand exactly what the lessons are yet. Like, I literally am a genius at this, and it's a huge part of what we do. We work on your career, your relationship with money, how you're showing up in the world, literally who you're being, how your energetic vibration is creating your life. So there's the portal. I have something really exciting coming soon, which I have not dropped the details for yet, but you're going to want to stay connected to my world to find out what it is because it is so freaking potent and powerful. So this is a huge part of what I do in my world. And when it comes to the sterilization and the pathologizing of love, my blood boils when we see these Instagram coaches just talk about how it should be, what it should look like. And a lot of it's performative, a lot of it's for show. You have coaches who are talking about being chosen, and then you're finding out later that their person that they've been with for years hid an addiction from them. And then they're still showing up and trying to sell you the story, and people buy it because we want to believe that things are easy. They're not. They are not, especially romantic love. If it's real, if it's hitting you in all the places you've tried to avoid, if it's not just some blankie that you're covering yourself with and grasping onto to avoid yourself, I've done it. I've been in that relationship. It did not make me feel alive, lit up, juicy, connected, or free. I have chosen to walk the path of love is freedom. Now, listen, we all want different things in life. Some people want to have children and a family and to create this really nourishing environment for raising children. That was not my path. However, if that is your path, I can help you I can guide you on that path in a way that's still going to allow you to feel lit up. Because so often we will choose something that feels a little safer and then we will die inside. And I don't want that for you. You can choose something safer and still stay alive. It's a matter of, are you going to be honest with yourself? Or are you going to let your physical symptoms of migraines and lack of libido and really bad period cramps and inability to connect and have intimacy and be yourself, are you going to allow those things to perpetuate until you just feel like a numbed out shell of who you were? Are you binging TV next to your partner? We need to talk because that is sucking the life force out of your relationship. So we all want different things. I want wild, free, connected love. Now, wild, free, connected love doesn't mean it's unsafe. It still has to have an element of safety, but that safety can only be created when you feel that safety inside. If you're latching on to someone for your safety, you are perpetuating your own attachment wounding. I have clients, one client really, who she was in a marriage for 5 years. It was a 10-year relationship. She was completely devoid of who she is as a human, a shell of herself, functioning through control, rigidity, disconnection. She was codependent with him. She got set free. If you're interested in learning more about this, you can listen to my podcast episodes with Kelly Herringer somewhere around the 40s. I think it's episode 45, 46, and 48, something like that. It's a 3-part series about how she came alive, and witnessing her come alive was everything. And now when we talk about it, she's like, I can't even believe that was who I was. It's like a trauma response to think about. And so many people are living that way because they think that once they have the relationship, they're safe. And then they get into relationships, you may relate to this, and you go through your daily life and your routine and you're disconnected, but you feel safe and you try to force it and everything feels kind of okay, but you're dying inside. And you're scared to admit it to yourself, so you lie to yourself. And that's not love. And what we've done is we've pathologized and sterilized love. We made it like it needs to be quote unquote healthy. If they don't send you the text message in the way they're supposed to send you the text message when you're dating, you automatically write them off. If they don't do the thing they're supposed to do, you write them off. We never get still and go, do I feel pulled towards this person? Do I feel like this person is meant to be a part of my journey, or am I just trying to check off boxes of shoulds? Like, so many things are mediocre in life, and love is not meant to be one of them. But we have become a society that pathologizes. Oh, they're a narcissist, or they love bombed me, or they're not worth my time or energy, or I'm too good for them. You're going to have an ego death one day. This doesn't mean you're not meant to be treated like the most magical, beautiful human that you actually are. But my love, you can't find that from someone else unless you're doing that for yourself. And are you treating them that way? Because the truth is, your energetic vibration leads. And so if you're not treating your man or your woman or your person, whoever that may be, as the most valuable thing in the world, why do you expect them to treat you that way? And then how are you treating yourself? Are you treating yourself as that? This is such a nuanced topic. There are so many different layers to it. And you're going to want to come up with excuses like, oh, well, Yarrow, you're just telling me to be in a toxic quote unquote relationship. No, I'm definitely not. However, if there are toxic elements to your relationship, there's information for you there. So, as most of you may know, Ozzy Osbourne just passed. And I love Ozzy Osbourne. I always have. I'm not even like the hugest fan of his music, though No More Tears is probably one of my favorite songs to process emotion to. And in the passing of Ozzy, I went into a deep dive of his relationship with Sharon. And everybody was online really praising him that he changed his will right before he passed to add into it that he wanted Sharon to receive a dozen black roses until the day she dies, every week until the day she dies. And everyone's like, oh my goodness, this is like what love should be, blah, blah, blah. We're not looking at the fact that their beginning years of their relationship were fucking nightmare. Like he was an addict and he was violent and who knows what else was going on. And I watched this reel about Sharon and how she has been able to really like spin the stories, right? She was like the mastermind behind creating this amazing empire for the two of them, which is beautiful. But what's more beautiful is you can actually feel their love for each other. So she accepted him. Now, did she accept bad behavior? No. There were times she had to leave. She had to set boundaries. She had to push back. But I imagine, and I'm not her, that there was something in her that knew this is my person. No matter how he's showing up right now, I am meant to hold him to his divinity and to believe in him. And he also did that with her when he was able. It's making me emotional because it's such a beautiful testament to what actual love is. And I was watching an interview with them and she said, you have to accept the person. You can't like get together with them and think, oh, they're going to change because they're going to think I'm so amazing and they're just going to change. It's not how this works. It's so based upon energy. It's really an innate knowing within you. What am I meant to learn in this relationship? And can I continue to look at all facets of it as this is transforming me at a deep level? And however amount of time, whatever amount of time I'm meant to be with this person, I'm going to lean in until my body says, no, this is done. And we don't know how to do that. And so we miss out on so much transformation. And then we're sick. We have PCOS, we have migraines, we have anxiety, we have depression because we're not alive. And when it comes to dating and love, we're just sucking the life force out of it. Like we're pathologizing people. We're shit talking men, or men are shit talking women. Men don't know how to show up these days. They're fucking terrified to do anything because who knows how you're going to respond because you take everything personally. And for men, get the fuck up and take action. Plan dates, show up, buy flowers, do the things. For women, stop taking everything personally. And if you're the one doing the work, you're the one who has the responsibility with the leading energy. Also, like I said, divine feminine energy leads. You're not waiting to be chosen. You are choosing. And then you are holding that man to his divinity. And if you're a man, you are following your heart, not your other parts, your heart. You're following your heart. You're following the woman who mirrors to you your divinity. Who are you as a man? Does that woman see the beauty of you, or is she picking you apart constantly? Does she hold you to your purest essence of who you are in your beauty and your brilliance and your power? And then if you're a woman, are you actually showing up as that? Or are you going into this little girl energy and taking everything personally? So one of the things I truly believe about Sharon Osbourne, she didn't take Ozzy's shit personally. You can just tell. I don't need to know her to know that. She didn't take it personally. Does that mean it didn't hurt? No, I'm sure it broke her heart at times, but she didn't take it personally. She was able to hold her personal power, to hold him to his divinity, and to stay in divine knowing about their union. We don't know how to do this. We're so fucked when it comes to this. And everybody's looking for an answer. Everybody's looking for someone to save them. Everybody's looking for their inner child to be soothed through their partner. Partner's not meant to soothe your inner child. Will at times your partner hold you in a way that soothes your inner child? Absolutely. Will at times your partner trigger the fuck out of you and you'll have to actually look at where your inner child is taking everything personally in your life and you're super activated? Absolutely. Are you going to project and blame your project on and blame your partner for that shit? I certainly hope not. I certainly hope you're going to get still and go, okay, what's being activated within me? My last relationship 2, 3 years ago, whenever that was, like a while ago, brought out all my attachment wounding. We connected in 2018. It was like all this attachment wounding I thought I had healed in my high horse of individual healing. And then he and I got together and it fucking spilled all out. And I was like, whoa, that's ugly. And now I got to look at that shit and I have to take responsibility for it. Even though, yeah, I could have blamed him because he was doing some really fucked up things. I could have blamed him, but that wouldn't help me. The only thing that's going to be helpful is for me to pause and get honest and take responsibility for what's happening within me so that I can heal that so that it doesn't show up in the next relationship. Now, he and I were on a karmic journey of healing those things within each other so that we could both go out and create our businesses and thrive. We weren't meant to be together. You have to be able to discern the difference. And at the time, I definitely held on because I was attached to the love story from the beginning. I wasn't able to see outside of that. This is one of the ways that I have learned to master this is like I can now discern these sneaky subtle energies of what's true and what's real and what's meant to be. And I can guide you in a way that I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to hold you to your divinity until you get there yourself. My client who I shared about, who I would love for you to go listen to the podcast episodes, I never told her that I didn't believe her husband was her person. In fact, I guided her on a mushroom journey, psychedelic mushroom journey, and she said to me, he's my person. And I said, yeah, he is, even though my body was like, no, he's not. But it wouldn't have been helpful for me to say that to her at the time because she had to get there on her own. And it was through our work together that it unraveled in such a way that she was able to get there and she was able to be set free without having to be the one who like without question, right? Like I'm like, what am I trying to say? She was able to do it without question. So there was no question. There was never going to be any question because the way it unraveled was perfect. It was divine. And that's what happens when you start to come home to yourself in this way. When you rewire your nervous system in such a way that you start to shed your attachment wounding, shed your ways of relating to the world that are through attachment versus authenticity. That means, so that's Dr. Gabor Mate's theory. And I learned it when I was in his compassionate inquiry program. And it means you're choosing your attachment relationships over your authentic self, which is what my client was doing, which is what we have all done at certain points in time. And when you start to heal at a nervous system level, you begin to shed the ways you are choosing attachment over authenticity. You start to choose yourself. You start to choose your truth. And when you choose your truth, it may not look like it quote unquote should, but you're actually setting yourself free. We get so caught up in conscious communication, in how it should look, in healthy, and I'm using air quotes for those of you who are listening potentially on the podcast or aren't watching me. I'm using air quotes because none of that is real. You have to connect to your heart. You have to let all the dark, ugly parts come forward. Take responsibility for them. Do your work to heal them without projecting them onto the other person and be able to trust what each relationship is meant to be in your life for how long it's meant to be in your life and the journey that you're creating along the way. And I want you all to feel lit up and juicy and excited and in love. Please stop pathologizing love. It's not meant to be a perfect picture. It's not meant to be a perfect box. You're not meant to be consciously communicating in a way that's passive aggressive and disconnected from the truth of your heart and your feelings. One of the things I love about Sharon and Ozzy is the raw and realness of them. Sometimes it's going to sound fucked up. Sometimes you're going to say things that aren't perfect or aren't conscious. That's part of it. I was watching this one woman on Instagram recently. I forget her name right now. But she was this like blew my mind. She was talking about this relationship that she had and how they were in this, period of like not talking. And she went to the bathroom and she got period blood all over her hand and she sent him a picture of her flipping him off with the period blood. And I was a little appalled, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, damn, that's raw. And then she said he responded because he was like, finally, you're being open. Like sometimes the way we communicate when we're feeling deeply is going to look really crazy. And that's not to, we can't pathologize that. That's what it is to be vulnerable and in love sometimes. Sometimes it's really scary and it's not going to look like it quote unquote should. And we have gotten into this picture perfect. It needs to look perfect for Instagram. It needs to look perfect to our family. Oh, shaming ourselves if it's quote unquote toxic instead of going, okay, what am I learning here? What's transforming within me? How is this happening for me? How is this happening for the divinity of everyone involved? These are your questions. And so when you're going out in the world and you're dating or you're with your partner, where are you avoiding these things? Where are you avoiding shutting down, compartmentalizing? Where are you afraid to push the boundaries of intimacy and open up the box that needs to be opened up? I could say Pandora's box if we will, because sometimes that is what it is. It feels like Pandora's box. It might be dark, it might be ugly, it might not feel good, but that needs to come forward so that you can actually create deep intimacy and connection. And that is why I think Sharon and Ozzy are such a beautiful testament to that. They had so much to go through in the beginning to create this really beautiful connected love story, and you can just feel it in them. And if you want true, real love, it's going to ask you to get real with yourself, to let the darkness come forward, to not project it on someone else, and not shame yourself for who you're connected to and what you're meant to learn through that relationship. And I literally am a genius at guiding people through this. So thank you. We will definitely do more parts to this subject because it is a huge one. If you would like to learn more about ways to work with me, you can reach out on Instagram, leave a comment below, send me a carrier pigeon, send me an email, whatever works for you. I am here. And when you do the work to show up differently when it comes to love, when you stop pathologizing it and shutting all over yourself, you create so much joy, vitality, and connection within yourself and in the world. And this is what we do in Your OK Academy of healing, expanding, spiritually transforming, and mastering energetics. It is about being the raw, messy, imperfect, beautiful, magnetic, powerful version of you, and to show up in the truth of who you are and to feel safe to get honest with yourself and trust and fall in love with your journey along the way. All right, I love you all, and I will see you next time.